Hello. We are, as most of you probably know from the videos or from my Instagram, at Pack the Van and Go. We're currently in the Czech Republic, or Czechia, and we have currently parked up, and it's been on my mind to do something like this video for a while. So I am currently on day 42 of traveling around Europe, and in those 42 days I have experienced and learned so much, and I'd wish I had known some of these things before I'd set off, because it probably would have saved me a lot of money and a lot of hassle over the past 42 days. I'm not a subject matter expert. I don't pretend to be a subject matter expert when it comes to van life. I'm still a novice as far as I'm concerned. This is my first experience of touring Europe, exploring Europe, and finding my feet and tires and way of being able to survive in Europe. Has been a complete massive big learning curve, and I'm eternally grateful for people like John and Mandy, for Greg Virgo and Alex Frood from Mispronounced Adventures. I've been able to travel with some of these people for certain parts. I've been able to sit down before I came to Europe and soak up the information that these people were passing on to me, and I also wish I'd asked more questions before I'd actually set off, because then I probably would have had the answers that I'm now finding out as I'm traveling. But that's one of the things when you're a bit stubborn like me. You don't know everything, so I'm about to go through some of the things that I've learnt over the past 42 days while travelling with me and Archie around Europe, from country to country. So here's number one. So my first tip is literally my mobile data. I did some basic research before I set off, and I'd listened to what John and Manny and Greg Virgo and all those were saying to me. I read some of the fine print, and I decided to go with a data package by Smarty, which literally told me that because I'd signed up before a certain date that I was entitled to unlimited, same as my mobile phone plan with Vodafone. And then once I got out here and started roaming around, my data was just being, the life was sucked out of it just by switching it on. And then I found out that my Smarty SIM card was only allowing me 12 gig a month, no more than that. If I wanted to buy any more than that, I was allowed to buy add-ons at 4 gig for £4, and that would literally last me a couple of hours. My mobile phone plan, again, it had told me you get texts for every country. Congratulations, you're part of your free roaming. You're entitled to use all your data and all your unlimited minutes and all that sort of stuff. However, in the fine print, you're capped at 25 gig. So it's been a nightmare. To that end, I am currently parked up in the Czech Republic on the outskirts of Brno. I've got an old army friend that I went to visit. There is a package on its way, been sent by my mum, who I'm eternally grateful for, and that is for an EE SIM card that everybody else has recommended to me. It's a contract, a monthly contract, and that will give me 200 gig of data a month. So fingers crossed. The hassles that I've had with data when it comes to uploading and so on and so on, YouTube, will be solved. The other thing to that is I've learned is literally to save data on my phone. I'm using Google Maps and my TomTom to navigate myself around, and all I do is when I find a location on Park for Night and I Google Map it, I then press start on the directions, and then I just put my phone on airplane mode, so I'm not using any data as I'm driving along for hours and hours. So that's pretty much my way of learning. So again, from what I've been told and what people have now told me, the EE contract, which is roughly about £25 a month, or £28 a month, and you get a free, you're entitled to use your EU roaming rights, and you get 200 gig of data. So that's on its way, hopefully today or tomorrow at some stage. That's tip number one. So leading on from mobile data and all that sort of stuff, my second tip for people who are planning to come out to Europe is to get the right router and antenna combination between you and the van. I currently have the Netgear Nighthawk as my router, and it has been absolutely fantastic. And I know that quite a few of my friends who I'm traveling with have the similar device, and none of them, including myself, have experienced any issues with that. I also have on top of the roof a little 4G antenna, and one thing I've noticed about that is, like, you switch your phone on, you get no phone signal. You switch the router on inside the van, because the puck is on top of the van higher up, I'm always gaining a 4G signal through the Wi-Fi. So again, if you're coming out and you are like a digital nomad or somebody has an online business, ensuring that one, like top tip one, you've got the right data package, but also two, you've got the right router and 4G 5G antenna combination built into the van to allow you to work remotely. So that's tip two. Tip number three, Park for Night, Google Maps satellite view. Using my data on my phone, I use Park for Night. I pay the $8.99 for the offline part of Park for Night. So if you're coming to Europe and you've got Park for Night, pay the $8.99 so you can use the offline version of the app itself. It's priceless. It's worth the money for $8.99 for a yearly subscription. And the one thing that I've been doing is literally, whenever I need to move on to somewhere else, I scour the area for like the tree symbol or the green van symbol, one, so I can park up in an environment like this off-grid as such, but also so I've got access to water, grey and black waste, and so on and so on. What I'm finding is literally I look at the Park for Night app, I then click on the itinerary so I can get the directions via Google Maps. I then switch Google Maps to the satellite view, so it's as if it's the lay of the land in colour as it is, and then I scour and zoom in to see where the car park is, what the location's like, and so on and so on. So I get a better 3D image in my head of the location that I'd like to go to. And then one of the things that I'm doing via those apps is also, like I did yesterday and the day before, was to fly the drone around from where I got to on Park for Night, and then I actually found a better place to park up by flying the drone, which was only 500 meters further away. So it's those little things. So if, again, for $8.99 Park for Night, and then transferring that to your Google Maps, but using the satellite view, so you can zoom in and out and get a 3D picture in your mind of the location that you want to go to, has been a massive help to me. And this is how I've been able to find some of these amazing park ups so far on my journey. So Park for Night and Google Maps. So my fourth tip, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. It is all about the money. And what I mean by money is Revolut, but also cash. This card, the Revolut card, was recommended to me by my friends who I'm traveling with, and it allows you to transfer your money onto it, and it allows you to pay anywhere in any country that I've been to so far. And I have literally been to France, to Denmark, to Germany, to the Netherlands, to Austria, to Italy, to Czech Republic, and about to go to Poland. And every time I've either been to, like, buy shopping or buy a coffee, or literally go in and fill it with diesel, and so on and so on, I've always used the Revolut card. And it has been absolutely amazing. The one good thing I like about it is that it allows you to set a budget, so you can transfer your money in each month to a budget, and it will keep an eye on your budget for you. And every time you make a transaction, you get an immediate notification on your phone how much you spent in that country, such as the Czech Republic krona, like I did today, but how much it cost you in UK conversion as well. So you get an idea of what your spend is, and then it will tell you how much you spent on your budget, how much you've got left of your budget. So again, if you're a person like me who's trying to budget as best I can and stick to a budget each month, then the Revolut card is absolutely amazing. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie, it is always handy to carry some cash around with you. So some euros, some Czech kronas, whatever country you're going to, a little bit of cash goes a long way, because sometimes when you're off grid in the middle of nowhere, into these tiny little villages, and you need something as an emergency, or just want to buy something really quick, or some local produce, a lot of these places don't have a Revolut card or a cash machine, or cash stuff like that, or a cash transaction machine, whereas they will take the cash in hand. So again, it's great to have all these little things. So that is number 4. So number 5 is budget properly. Before I set off, I sat down with some of the friends that I was traveling with. I discussed my own budget, what I wanted to keep to, and so on. But part of my planning process was literally, budgeting for fuel for the van, food and travel, and so on and so on. What I failed to budget for was all the little things. And some of the little things I mean by, like some days I needed to go and do some laundry. I had budgeted for laundry, but what I didn't budget for was the car parking fee that I had to pay to literally park up, and the cup of coffee, and the cake that I bought while my laundry was being done. It's all that sort of thing. It's budgeting for every minor detail that allows you to stick to your budget while you're on the move. Everybody's budget's going to be different. Everybody has a different income. I'm very lucky that I have a military pension, and I have my Etsy shop, and I also have some earnings now from YouTube as well. Doesn't mean I want to spend it all, so I try to keep in a budget, and like I say, budgeting thoroughly for the little things that are everyday eventualities is going to be massive, and it will save you a lot of hassle, because there are times when I've had to slow down the pace of my travel, just because I know for a fact, 1, I've gone over budget, 2, I don't want to go extravagant and spend, and 3, it's nice to be able to sit down and relax as well and slow down. But now I've got to the stage of my travel where I went over my budget, especially the first couple of weeks, because I was excited to be in Europe and I had a big party. Then the next couple of weeks, there were so many things that I wanted to do and see, that I had a contingency where I could go over budget, but now I'm trying to rein that in. And I'm also about to go into countries where the cost of living and the cost of traveling is a lot cheaper than some of the countries where I've just come from. So I can kind of claw that budget back. But in order to do that, you've got to make cutbacks. And one of the cutbacks is just being able to park up for a couple of days in an environment like this, eat the food that you've already got, make do with what you've got, and also rely on just slowing down a little bit in order to make the budget a bit longer. But that's hard when you've got only 90 days allowed in the EU before you have to try and get out. But anyway, budget for everything before you come to Europe, and try and stick to your budget is a top tip that I can all try and offer you. My next tip that I'm going to offer you, there's an app called Open EU that was recommended to me by friends before I set off and all that sort of stuff. It's an app which is free and priceless, so you need to download it to your phone and use it. And to give you an example, I was traveling with some friends the other day. We were in Italy, I believe it was. They were planning to stay in Italy, then go to some other country via ferry, and I was then planning to go from Italy back into Austria to the Czech Republic. All I did was open the EU up, fired up the Open EU app, get my wording right, put in a country to country, checked what the requirements are, and then I realised to come back from Austria to the Czech Republic I needed a passenger locator form to be filled in. So I did all that. I also realised that I needed a vignette to travel through Austria on the motorways and in the Czech Republic, which you can do online. It just allowed me to plan my travel from border to border more easily. But what I have found is that you can sit here and you can go use that app, which is priceless and free, like I've said. But the one thing I'm finding is most of the borders, there's no one there. and I've literally just drove from border to border. And so far, the only country I've been stopped going into, but then let on my way really quickly, was Denmark. So, but still, the Open EU app is an essential guide to allowing you to be legally in the correct position to be able to travel from border to border. So Open the EU app. Leading on to that, another one that you obviously going to need is your NHS app, and you need to download your proof of COVID that you've had 2 jabs and get the barcodes downloaded. So I've got mine. Every thing's 30 days or 3 months you have to renew and download it again and get a new up-to-date copy, and just keep that on your phone. In France, I have been asked, and in some of the other countries, proof before I went to restaurants, even just for a coffee, that I was double vaccinated. Swimming pools in Germany and in Austria and in Italy, I believe it was, I've been asked again for evidence that I've double vaccinated. When I went through the border from Germany to Denmark, they asked for my passport and proof that I was double vaccinated, and so on and so on. So again, the NHS app, if you're coming from the UK to Europe, is essential. So part of your essential travel, Open EU and the NHS apps. One thing, another tip that I've learned over the past since traveling the EU, you are going to have to park your van up in some places, and for me, because I've got Archie, you are going to, well, for me, I have to leave Archie in the van by himself. It's a pretty, maybe I've got separation anxiety when I leave him by himself, I don't know, but it's very nerve-wracking when you're in a foreign country and the van is your home, and your travel buddy, best mate Archie, is going to be sat in a van for however many hours on the streets of a foreign city. So one of the things I have done, and I know that another couple of people, and I'll put a link to Alex Frood's channel, Mispronounced Adventures, because he did a review of the Neos Smart Cam, but we all installed them. It's pretty simple to install. I've put mine via a USB onto a switch on my control panel, so it's literally linked to my Wi-Fi. So whenever I park up in a city and I've got to leave Archie in the van to go off, say, and do some laundry like I did in Copenhagen, then all I do is just flick the switch, the Neos Smart Cam comes on, it links to the Wi-Fi. I can then monitor the van and Archie from the inside of my from my phone, and then for the duration of the time I'm away, I'll be able to keep an eye on the van and Archibald as well. So the Neos Smart Cam, essential van security deterrent as well. So if you are planning to come to Europe, they're pretty simple to use, really simple to install, and simple to use the app as well. So the Neos Smart Cams, and I'll put a link to Alex Frood's channel of his tutorial of how he set them up. So I know that a lot of people are, I've just talked about Archie, and a lot of people are going to be traveling with pets and so on and so on. When I came across to Europe, I travelled with Greg Virgo, but we met with John and Mandy, and me and John and Mandy needed to go and find a vet, and which we did in Dunkirk, and they were absolutely amazing to us. We didn't need a French address, they just used my UK address for Archie's French passport. But I know that some people have just come across with their pets and the requirements have changed again. That you need, or I believe at this time of talking, that you need a French address in order to register your dog and get a French pet passport. But again, by the time, if you're watching this in the future and all that sort of stuff, the requirements to get your dog a pet passport in France could change. But you know, it's not daunting as you think. Literally, for me, it was a case of in the UK, get Archie's animal health certificate. I got that from the vets that I always use, and they've been amazing. Vets for Pets in Mansfield have been absolutely amazing for me, and they've supplied us with enough medical care and treatment, and his animal health certificate was filled out correctly by the vet, so I cannot thank you all enough. We then travelled through the Eurotunnel, everything was fine, got into Dunkirk, got Archie's pet passport. He had a rabies booster as part of the requirement to be in France for a French pet passport, and now he's got more travel allowances than me. So now we can use that to get in and out of the UK as long as we keep up his rabies and all that sort of stuff. So again, it's not a minefield. All I'd say to you is make sure you check your animal health certificate before you leave the UK, because I know that some people have fallen foul. And chatting to the woman when we were going through the Eurotunnel to get Archie registered, she did say to me that literally she's had to turn people away because it was filled incorrectly by the vet. So just get it all checked out, and I will leave a link to the vets that we used in Dunkirk. And all I'm going to say to you is, if you're going to use this vet, do not email, just call them, and they speak perfectly good English and all that sort of stuff, and they're really helpful, and they will help you with anything that you have, should you require to get a French passport for your pet to travel Europe. And the one thing I've finally learnt while traveling Europe is Google Translate. So Google Translate is an app. You can download the languages so you can use an offline version. It allows you to screenshot things into the language from Czechs to English. Like the other day I was driving along, there was a sign on a track. I have no idea what the sign meant. I just literally jumped out, Google translated it, understood, and then carried on driving. It's just little things like that, but it's also one of the things that I found when traveling with people is polite, and instead of being an arrogant English arsehole expecting the whole of the world to learn English on our behalf, it is very polite to learn basic phrases in the country that you're going to be in, and don't expect everybody to understand English. I know that's hard, but that's just being polite and courteous to the country that you're in, and to learn basic phrases. And again, Google Translate will allow you to learn the basics of what you need to get around. One of the interesting things that I found was literally coming through Germany. Obviously I know a little bit of German from my time in Germany. When you went through to like Austria and to Italy, into the Dolomites, German's pretty much the spoken language. So for me that was quite easy. Coming into Czech Republic from Austria, it was a little bit of an eye-opener, trying to learn a different language and basic phrases, but you get the hang of it. The one thing I have learnt in my time, if you're going to be in a shop like a supermarket, one thing I've learned is to always choose the person that's on the checkout that is the youngest, only because the one thing I've learned is literally in nowadays, like the Czech Republic, it used to be a communist country, where a language they always learn in school was more Russian than English, whereas in nowadays it's more English than so on. So the younger generation will more than likely know a lot more English than the older generation, and that's nothing bad or negative against anybody, but I always try and choose the youngest person at the checkout, just in case I fall foul on my pronunciation or the way I come across with my English accent, trying to speak in Dutch, Danish, French, German, Austrian, Italian, and Czechoslovakian. So it's just one of those things. So that's another tip. Just learn basic phrases to be more respectful. But what you'll find, and one thing I have found in this whole experience in the past 42 days is everybody's been amazing. Whatever country I've been to, I have never ever possibly experienced anything really negative from anybody, and everybody's been amazing towards me and toward Archie as well. So this journey over the past 42 days through all these countries in all these different locations has been amazing. I've learned so much about me, so much about my mentality, so much about what I could achieve, and I've learned so much that, like I said in the previous part of the video, this is my home, and I get to drive it and live in a location like this. How rewarding is that? For my physical health, which I feel better for compared to when I was living at home, but also my mental health, I am so much more happier, so much more relaxed, so much more chilled. I sleep better, probably longer. I don't wake up with headaches like I always used to in the house back in the UK. I enjoy spending time with him down there, Archibald, and just relaxing. It's nice to have good weather where you can just get the awning out and both sit underneath the awning and just relax. This whole 42 days experience, and the experiences I've had in the UK with all those people that I've met, and there've been some amazing people, it's been amazing. It's mind-blowing and humbling, so I cannot thank you all. And I hope that the things that I've learned on the past 42 days can help anybody out there. And if there is anything that you've learnt in your experiences that could help anybody, then leave a comment below and share the knowledge of living the van life on the road in Europe. But also thank you to everybody that has supported me and helped me along this way, given me advice and guidance to get me and Archie into a place like this in the Czech Republic. Absolutely amazing. So I hope that helps. Thank you again for everything. Don't forget to leave a comment if you've got anything that you want to pass on to anybody else, but also don't forget to like, subscribe. It's free and it supports me and Archie on the rest of our adventures. Hopefully by tomorrow our SIM card arrives for our 4G router, and then we can get on the road and be in Poland by the 21st and 22nd of this month in order to meet John and Mandy and Alex Frood from Mispronounced Adventures and show you a bit of Poland. See you later. No, dickhead. Wait.